never come back again. It's got a death curse. It's got a death curse.
Drop.
Welcome into a brand new edition of the Death Curse Club. I am owner-operator of this joint, Zach Hilton. And once again with me, my friend, your pal, Jim.
Hey.
Hey, Jim, I got to tell you, off the bat, people loved our Rob Zombie's Laurie's New Nightmare. Absolutely.
It's a great movie.
It really is. Like, I made a fake trailer to it. It actually got 2 people that came to me and was like, I thought this was fucking real. And fuck you that it's not. But I enjoyed it, and we will have one of those by the end of the month. We'll do another one. Don't you worry none. That'll be coming down the pike. But this, I haven't done a news episode in quite some time. I don't feel like I fucking podcasted in the longest time because things have gone down. I've just been doing game streams, but we're back. We're back here on the Death Curse Club to talk some movie stuff. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Threads, Death Curse Club. We're on Facebook, Thrill Me Lounge, and also if you want to support the brother channel, we have Thrill Me Retro, where all those Mission Impossible rewatches are going. Other things, Core Memory Horror, which Jim will join me for Friday the 13th Part 2, which will drop this week. So make sure you subscribe to that. Follow us on Spotify, Apple, whatever is your podcast feed, you can find us there. But let's get into today. This show is brought to you by Frightmare, Leprechaun's Revenge, Friday 314 and Saturday 315, 1905 South Military Highway, Chesapeake, Virginia. I think it's only going to run till 9, but $15 cash, $20 card, and you can do an upgrade to get that touchy feeling if that's your bag, baby. I've done the Leprechaun's Revenge. Jim, have you done the Leprechaun's Revenge?
I don't think so. I don't believe I have.
The one thing that I enjoy about the Leprechaun's Revenge, and I think it's only for the touchy, is they give you a gold coin, and the goal of the characters inside are to get that coin, and they will do anything possible to get said coin. I will say, the one time that I did it, they didn't get the coin. I didn't even tell them till like way after that they didn't get the coin because I didn't want to hear shit about it, but I was able to dodge. But I'm a big fan of it because the Leprechaun's Revenge for Frightmare, usually they do have a leprechaun in there. I mean, Chucky's usually a Chucky version of a leprechaun, but they do a really good job of making the characters that they have go to that extra level of theming. So they do a good job on their special events, and this is definitely one of my favorite ones. And I highly suggest going. Mm-hmm. Okay, speaking of leprechauns, I'm thinking on the Death Curse Club, probably, for Zach Speakeasy's Patreon, if you want to become a member of the Patreon, this is a good time to do it. For the $9 tier, I think I'm going to do a watch-along to the original Leprechaun. I can confidently say I have not watched this movie since the 90s. I've seen other ones. I've seen Leprechaun in Space a couple of times. One time with a very angry watch-along. Chad knows about that. Because I wanted to watch Leprechaun in the Hood, even Back to the Hood, if I could. But I don't think I've watched 1 and 2, 3 even, in the longest time. Do you have a affinity to Leprechaun?
Yeah, I know. I've probably watched at least Actually, I think I've watched the first 2 or 3 in the last 5 years, probably.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
I think I watched. Did I watch the Hornswoggle one?
Oh, I think I might
have. I think I might have. That was even a WWE movie too, wasn't it?
Wow.
Wow.
Sci-fi.
What a POS that was. No, I think WWE Films produced it. I think they actually had a hand in it, which I kind of get. Was that one called Leprechaun Origins?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think WWE did produce that. Not my jam, baby.
No.
And I wonder if we're at a time of maybe this, especially in a world that we live in with the Poohverse, with Chairfire. I think Leprechaun can exist in a world of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's hard because I think for me, I think Warwick Davis is my Leprechaun. So
For sure.
it's hard to see somebody else, but also it's kind of that whole Freddy thing, where it's like Robert Englund as Freddy, and when you get somebody else, it has to be a different type of character. It's just going to be compared.
No, you're absolutely right with how Freddy was taken so seriously and not as jokey. Leprechaun is literally like they were just like make Freddy into a leprechaun. And that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. That's what we're making. So it is that situation where like who would you get to actually play this character? I don't see who's the one guy. He was in Avengers Endgame and he was the big fucking guy.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
So
Like,
Peter Dinklage would never do it.
exactly. That's my point. Is like, and if I'm right, I could be wrong, but if I'm right, I think he's kind of put a kibosh
Yeah.
on other small people coming in to do roles.
Well, he's had an issue with uh, the little person community, and if I'm using the wrong word, I'm sorry. But anyway,
Yeah.
only getting those types of roles, he feels like they should be able to get, and that's why he usually does movies he does generally characters that can be played by anybody.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Where
100%.
their community is like, well, those are our roles. Like,
Right.
like you're taking work away from us when you're like saying we shouldn't be the drawers in Snow White, or we shouldn't be,
Right.
those types of characters. You're taking
Yeah.
and like, so I mean, I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, like, you got to take the work you can get.
100%. And I think that is like, that does seem like one of those things. Maybe that's why it's in like, we don't talk about it. We're not going to make it because no one's comfortable enough to figure out ideas of either working around it with CGI, which they know they'll get yelled at if they don't actually cast someone in the role that deserves it. Like, there could be all that kind of baggage that somebody just doesn't want to mess with, which I would imagine would be Lionsgate or Universal that owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
the
fine.
Leprechaun hasn't even been theatrical since,
Oh,
God,
two,
the second
three?
one maybe.
I think three. No, maybe three didn't, but two.
Was the
One and
second
two
one even?
definitely.
I'm not
I
even sure the
think you
second
might.
one was.
You might have a point. I just remember the poster being decent, like with his eyes and
Yeah.
the Leprechaun 2 looking really good. I don't know. I got now you got me. Well, I'm not going to look it up. I'm not that fucking worried about it.
Right.
But what a great question. I know part 1 did at least. But let's say we need Leprechaun back. Come on, it's St. Patty's Day. I'm wearing my Killarney fucking diner shirt. I got my Halloween 3 Silver Shamrock tumbler here. Pint glass. So let's get into the show. Let's get into some news. I don't have the poster on here just because we're a horror show, but I'm very interested in the fact that this film coming out, it was filmed last year, like even shown, but it's coming out this year. Life of Chuck, book based by Stephen King, written and directed by Mike Flanagan, which you hear all that. You hear horror. Bloody Disgusting showed the poster, but from all my accounts, this is not a horror property.
No, I don't. I think it fits more into because if you,
Fantasy?
well, no, well, I don't know. When you look at the teaser, which has the teaser hit online yet?
No, that's why I wanted to bring it up, is that you saw what movie?
I saw a movie. What did
What
I
was the new
see?
movie? It was a new movie. Last week's
Yeah,
new movie.
yeah, whatever movie came out last week, and I saw it. It was a thing.
It was attached with it, which I love that we're getting back into the world where these teasers are jointed with the movie before they hit online.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
nice.
I wish I could remember what movie I saw. I just saw that
I know.
everybody loved. And I saw it.
Mickey 17.
Yeah, Mickey 17.
Mickey 17.
Uh, the teaser bills it as like Stephen King, the guy who brought you, and then they list like Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption.
Right.
So it's more, I think, more into that tone. And what's funny is I know I read it,
Okay.
but it was probably, I mean, I don't think it's probably been at least 10 years or more. So, and and he writes probably a book, 2 or 3 books a year, it seems like. So they
Right.
all blur together after a while for me.
Right.
So I can't even really remember exactly what it's about, to be honest.
But from what I gathered, it's not a horror book. It's
No,
drama. It's more.
I think it does have a fantasy element to it.
Yeah, I think there is, because even in the poster, which I kind of dig, it's an outline of Tom Hiddleston's character, who is Chuck, but like it lists all the names, and one letter in each name, it reads out who is Chuck. And I like this idea because what I'm interested in is like the horror community backing the movie, even though it's not. I mean, it's full. Writer, director Mike Flanagan, based on Stephen King. Kate Siegel's in the movie. There's other horror elements with or people in within the movie.
Oh yeah,
I'm
most of the Flanagan crew is in there when you see the
right.
trailer and the poster.
So that all being said, I kind of love that the community is already backing this movie, even though it's not that genre.
Yeah, I think I want to say it's played at South by Southwest, which
Right.
that's going on either last weekend or is going on now.
Yes. Yeah, it's going on now. Yeah.
Is it still going on?
I think so.
And then, yeah, I mean, anytime I mean, Flanagan's somebody who, like you said, has the backing of the community. So you're and Stephen King, obviously. So yeah, you're always going to get those people, and just the fact that you're going to play the film festival community, and you're going to get the older
Right.
people who show up just because, you know, it's
Right.
possibly going to get nominated for award type stuff. Anything like that
Yeah.
kind of comes up. You're always going to see when I go to those movies that are nominated for awards, I always sit down and always see those people. I look around, I go, okay, you're here because it was nominated, because otherwise you would never
Right.
be in this movie.
Right, exactly. Like Substance is that. Like once it was
Right.
nominated for awards, people had to go see it, even though
Yeah,
they had no interest whatsoever before.
exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm in. I'm in. I want to see this. I'm excited for it. Let's get into some things that we have talked about before, but these are some kind of updates. David Arquette has signed on to be in Scream 7. Obviously, we have no plot elements besides the fact that in Scream 5, spoilers for Scream 5, Dewey fucking died. So, we're grasping on to this like dead killers, dead victims. They're going to be in this in some way, somehow. And now, even after thinking about it, my fear of it, outside of I want it to be a meta movie like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, what scares me is like with Scream 5 and 6, Skeet Ulrich came back as Billy, but Billy was a ghost or a figment of the
Right.
imagination, and it was CGI. Like they had to de-age his face. I'm going to be taken fucking aback if I'm watching an entire scene with all these people and they're all just bad Jeff Bridges Tron face. I
Yeah, I mean,
don't
half
know
the
if I
cast
can
is
handle
dead.
that. Right?
Half
I
the
don't know if I can handle that, Jim.
half the cast is dead. We got, and then you got Sydney. You got Sydney's daughter. You got the two characters from the new movie, the new
Right.
trilogy or whatever. That are
Right.
back.
Right.
So it's got a lot of. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll just get a time travel movie. This will be the Back to the Future of Scream, and they're just gonna go back, and that's how we're gonna see Dewey and all these other people. Who knows?
Like they all lived. They
Yeah.
all live. The whole movie is just a fever dream
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Sid's. And like she's just living life and then a killer shows up or whatever.
And
Like,
you
oh
also
fuck, it's Vanilla Sky! Fuck you! Give me the look, impromptu fucking our movie thing. Fucking because she's a best-selling author, she's sold millions of books, she's made all the money. She's going to die, but she freezes herself. She wants to lucid dream. gets in there. Fucking Billy's face keeps turning to fucking ghost face. People are freaking out on her. She's got a fucked up face. Tech support.
And look, just because these people were in this movie, it doesn't mean they're going to be in it necessarily long. I mean, it could be.
No.
It could be. I mean, we can go all the way back to Batman versus Superman when they were talking about, oh, it's going to have Cyborg and the Flash and Aquaman, and it was literally like 10 seconds combined for all three of them. It was just like a short little, like, oh, look, there they are, and that's all they were in the movie.
Right.
But they were built as, everyone was leading up to it. They were made up. Everyone was making a big deal about, oh, they're in the movie, and they're going to be in the movie, and they're going to be in the movie. Well,
no, you're right.
This could be the same situation where it's like, oh, look, you know, we could get a scene at the end of the movie after Sydney's killed everybody, and it could just be like the end of Return of the Jedi, where the Force ghosts are standing off in the distance, staring at Sydney eating her cake or something, and it's just Dewey and, you know, everyone just looking at her and smiling like, you know, redeemed Force ghost Skeet Ulrich standing there, and like they're all just like, oh yeah, go ahead, Sydney, you did a good job.
Rise of the Prescott. I'm into this. And we end the movie with nub nub.
Oh yeah, nub nub.
Yub nub. Oh, great. Yeah. So what say you people? Are you looking forward to Dewey returning in a CGI de-aged face or Force Ghost? Let us know in the comments. I don't know what to go with. We'll go with this. Are you a fan of Cloverfield?
Yes.
Well, right now it is rumored still that Cloverfield 2 is happening. Not like a spinoff. Not the Cloverfield Paradox. Not 10 Lovers Lane Cloverfield project. An actual Cloverfield 2 is still in the works. Do you think this is too little too late?
I don't even think most people even know what Cloverfield is. As far as the average
I mean, the movie came out January 2008. And the only reason
I would have guessed longer.
And the only reason why I knew that, because again, we got to go back in time, and I love my core memory unlocks. The Star Trek teaser was attached to Cloverfield because it is a bad robot movie.
Yeah. Which was a great teaser, by the way.
Oh, yeah, one of the best.
The under construction one?
Yeah, the one where they're building the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so with me with this movie, like, I'm a fan of it, and it's during the, like, we're in prime time found footage movies. Yeah. And I actually think this is one of the better found footage movies.
I agree.
It's just, since the release of this movie, and I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. I enjoy that movie. And I think what kind of hurts is that movie has no connection to the original. The Paradox movie has no connection to the original besides the end when the monster eats the fucking ship. Right. Like, just like 10 Cloverfield Lane had an add-on. And then you look at A Quiet Place, and originally that was supposed to be a Cloverfield spinoff, but then they decided to actually do their own thing with it. I think with the rough road that we got in a world where theatrical movies are, it's harder to get people to go into the movies if they aren't a franchise, though I would not say this movie would end up in theater. I feel like if this movie gets made, it's streaming on Paramount Plus in Halloween season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't see any way of it making theatrical. I remember when it came out and then thinking it should have been handled as kind of like a prequel to a Gears of War movie.
Okay.
It felt that in that kind of like that, what's how the monster felt to me. Like I felt like it kind of fit into that Gears of War kind of environment.
Okay.
And I just thought it could have worked as like a prequel to that. But otherwise, like on its own, I almost feel like that's how you could do a sequel, is not do a Gears of War movie, but do something similar in that, like, okay, we're going to fast forward 20 years. Yeah.
I think that's
not do found footage.
Oh, a natural film. Put it as I like that. I think that's like the shtick, not a shtick. I hate that because found footage movies are good when they're done right. But
most they haven't in a while.
No, but I could see if the plot, I like your idea of post-apocalyptic, if like, say someone found a camera and was like, what the fuck is this? Because you got to think like nothing's existed past that time if we're post-apocalyptic. So there are no like iPhones and stuff like that. Like this would be easy to contain, but I would be more interested in a film because you kind of have to deviate away from that movie, because the one thing about Cloverfield as well is like it also has a weird through line with Lost. Like Lost was a mystery show and the entire like promotional budget for Cloverfield was like a Lost kind of promotion. Where it's like, what does this mean? What's this number? I remember looking at the poster and being like, what is this little wave going to and stuff? Like, what are we doing? My trepidation on this is like, do you do that same kind of promotion budget, or have we gone away from that kind of Lost world and now we have to be full in your face like, look, the monster's on the fucking poster. Come see this Godzilla-like movie.
I mean, in some ways, I guess it depends. Because if you're trying to go big budget or widespread marketing, yeah, you got to just kind of go, look, here it is. Here's the monster. This is what it is. If you're fine with it being on a smaller scale, then you can do that, because that kind of stuff is still popular. But the general mainstream audience doesn't want to be bothered with it. They want to know, like, hey, that's what I'm going into. The other reason why I think you have to separate it from present day, as far as just, is that you want to differentiate yourself from the MonsterVerse.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Like, this does not fit in Godzilla's world. This doesn't, and it needs to be a little more serious. I mean, like, I know it's a movie from them, but like Kong Skull Island fucked because it kind of felt grounded. And that's what this movie needs, is that it's a grounded world that existed, where when you're in the MonsterVerses now, they're fucking at the center of the earth going to different dimensions. So we do need that. I agree. Again, what do you say? Cloverfield, are you a fan? Let us know in the comments. Talk to us about Cloverfield. All right, let's move on to this one. I'm all about talking about this person. I think a rising screen queen, if you will, but Kathryn Newton has been cast in the upcoming Radio Silence movie, Ready or Not 2. I didn't see any role description or anything, but you're giving me Samara Weaving, you're giving me Kathryn Newton, which I'm a fan of both of them. When they announced Ready or Not 2, I was kind of taken aback because I didn't know how I felt about it, because I think it was a wonderful one and done story. I mean, we got it. No spoilers for it, but it's pretty contained. Where do we go from here? And is Kathryn Newton going to play friend, sister of Samara Weaving, or is she the start of a new fucked up family?
I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to follow the same storyline. I mean, you can just take that character and put her in another situation. That's just,
oh wow.
You know, you don't need to even have it from a storyline standpoint. It doesn't have to be connected to the first one, other than the fact it's the same character.
Right.
Moving on into, oh man, I'm in some more fucked up shit. How did this happen?
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of like the tagline of the movie is, why does this keep happening to me?
Right. That way you're not tied into anything. Because like you said, it works so well on its own that to try to tie it in, it might feel forced.
Yeah, and that's what I don't want. I don't want, like, Kathryn Newton is the remaining family member of that legacy, and she's kind of also torn to it, so like, or tied to it, so she has to do the same thing. Like, I don't want that. Just find a new situation, as you said, And if she's friend or foe, I think I'm in for either of those. I think I would love a buddy comedy horror with them. But at the same time, I would love if they're rivals. I think Kathryn Newton's just really good at playing either of those roles, from like Lisa Frankenstein or Abigail. Like, she kind of shines through that. But then you look at things like Freaky as well, playing both roles. But you look at like Ant-Man Quantumania, no whatever about the movie, but a sweetheart, you know? Yeah. So like, I do love that she can do all these roles, and I love Samara Weaving. I mean, I don't think I've talked about it. I watched it. Was the movie called Tarot? Or no, not Tarot. What's the movie that she was on Shudder that was a post-apocalyptic, nobody talking? Oh, God. Yeah. Good quiz question.
Yeah, you know. I took a nap like an hour ago. I'm still a little groggy.
But like, I watched that, and she's just got this leading woman presence, and I'm kind of sad that she hasn't broken through that glass ceiling.
Right.
So once again, I hope Ready or Not 2 is one of those films that can.
Yeah, she's done a lot of really good movies. I mean, in the lead role as well. I mean, you look, because she was Babysitter, right?
Yes, she was Babysitter.
Yeah, so Babysitter. She was also in the movie
Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yes, she was.
I was thinking Mayhem, Joe Lynch movie Mayhem.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've seen that.
It's on Shudder.
Okay, might have to check it out. She was in something else too, where like she looks like another actress, and that's why I think they cast her. I think.
Oh yeah. Well, they always say she looks like Margot Robbie.
Yes, yeah. I think
and Margot.
She was in a Margot Robbie movie. She's in that what's the one Damien Lindell did with Brad Pitt?
Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon. I think she's in Babylon as like a Margot Robbie fucking stunt person or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kathryn Newton's great.
Yeah.
I love Kathryn Newton. If she's watching, come by Nightmare Weekend in the fall.
Fuck yeah. I mean, we're getting people, man. Let me tell you, pumping me up with these guests already, Nightmare Weekend. Which Galaxy Con we'll go to. Maybe we'll get to meet John Carpenter again. We'll find out.
Yeah.
When we go.
We'll see.
We'll see.
As long as they don't change his flight.
Oh my God.
I mean, we won't know until we're actually there and look at the website, because they won't tell us. So.
They won't. I mean, he was like the guy of the event. I'm sure they didn't want to say anything. All right. Let's move on to this. A poster came out from producers of Terrifier 2 and 3, and this should rock your world. We have Screamboat, and it's Steamboat Willie, obviously, but what's really interesting is that David Howard, or David Horton Thompson, whatever the fuck his name is playing Screamboat. So he's donning more makeup to play this character. Jim, what are your feelings of Screamboat?
I've actually seen the trailer.
No shit.
I saw it months ago when I went to go see something. Again, I go to so many movies.
Was it when you saw one of these Poohaverse movies?
No, because they don't put trailers in front of it.
Maybe it was Terrifier.
It might have been, actually. That might have been what it was. That would make sense.
Okay.
So it looked fine. Like it would look like something I would watch. It looks 1,000 times better than Mousetrap.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. That fake Mickey Mouse face cover.
Oh, that movie was terrible.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. You want to talk about, like, when I talked about the Poonaverse and how, like, it made sense for this was the whole plot of this was basically at a Dave & Buster's where the manager had, like, a mask of Steamboat Willie sitting there, and he kind of saw the cartoon, and for some reason the cartoon must have drove him mad, and he put the mask on and started killing people.
What fucking horrible.
It was the worst excuse for just the character to be.
Well, using those free public domain characters and just not having an idea. Like, the idea was just, I want to make Steamboat Willie a killer.
Yeah.
And what is the cheapest and what is the quickest way we can get there?
Yeah. But the Screamboat looked interesting. It's a monster mouse.
Right, and I was going to say, I mean, looking at this, I mean, we have the classic, we have the whatever the fuck, the wheel of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
There, I mean, he looks fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Terrifier producer and you're going to get your blood carnage and stuff like that. I mean, it's one of those things that I would have to watch Terrifier 2 and 3 to make me want to see this.
Okay. I see that.
Before I step into the Scream boat.
Yeah, I watch a lot more weird shit, so.
You do. Speaking of, you watch like Pooh. Like a couple of weeks ago, you were on the show. You were like, "Fucking, this is the thing. This is the thing." Well, I got a hair up my butt, and I watched Pooh, Blood and Honey on Peacock. I remembered you told me it was on Peacock, so I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to record with the guy later today. Let me see if I can get this movie in. This is my thoughts on this movie.
Okay.
Absolutely, what we were just talking about of how the ripoff of Mousetrap or whatever the fuck it was, where it was just, we're trying to quickly get this made and put. I was shocked at not only production value of this movie, but the preparing you of the world you're about to go into, because it gives you this like old classic cartoon look of like how Christopher Robin met all these guys and he was with them, but then leaves and they get upset and fucking they eat Piglet. Spoilers for Piglet.
No,
Eeyore. I'm sorry, Eeyore, because Piglet's in it. But Eeyore gets ate, and they vowed not to speak again, which I thought, once I heard that, ingenious way to make them killers and not feel like, well, Winnie the Pooh talks. Like, I'm trying to hear, oh, bother. But you've nipped it in the bud right there. The rest of the movie, like I said, shot extremely well and kind of has, not the same story, but like I kept watching, I was just like, this feels like Friday the 13th, 2009.
Sure.
Like, fuck it, spoil the movie, who cares? Like, they don't kill Christopher Robin when he comes back, because the beginning of the movie, I thought Christopher Robin was just going to lead this whole thing, but he comes back, carnage happens to him, and you think he's dead, but really he's captive. Other people come into the world, they're getting effed up. Like, there are some gnarly kills, like that car one. I wasn't expecting the tire on the head, but like, they do a good job of, like, even Piglet has the fucking horns now and looks really gnarly. Again, they're not speaking, and it's not guys in suits. They're yes, it's guys in suits.
Right. Yeah.
But that's, whenever I watched the trailer, I was just like, why are they dressing up like them? No, they're fucking monsters. They're half human, half animal type of fucking people. Again, they've explained really well.
Yeah.
So the movie for me is fine. Like, it was watchable. Yeah. I was able to sit, watch it. I was okay with it. And fucking Christopher Robin's throughout. And then at the end, spoilers for the movie, spoilers for the end, like, Pooh says one sentence, basically. And I was like, okay, we earned it. I kind of dig that. And overall, I was like, I get why they're running with it, because it isn't something that isn't just we're taking the character and kind of just throwing it away because we think we can make a poster and you'll buy it because of the poster.
Right.
Which now I'm on board of, okay, there's a 2, there's a Pinocchio, there's a fucking this, there's a that, and then a whole all of a movie. So you sold me, Jim. You were able to fucking sell me.
Do I need to sell you on the second one now? Because I can sell you on the second one.
Okay. Sell it. Fuck it. I'm here. Whatever.
So here's the basic idea of what I was trying to get at it with the first one versus the second one, because this isn't really a spoiler. I just didn't want to affect the way you were watching the first one.
Right.
So the reason why the characters are back, because obviously, you kind of kill off the villains.
Yeah, you killed off everybody.
So the way these characters are back, they look slightly different, And the movie itself looks better. Here's the reason why. The movie you just watched
Yeah.
is the movie of the events that happened. That is the stab of the Pooniverse. Because you will see characters in part 2 watching that movie on TV. And like wearing the Winnie the Pooh shirt.
Yeah.
Because this stuff actually happened. Like we do get a Christopher Robin back in part 2.
Okay.
But I believe I'm 90% certain it's a different actor because that's a
movie.
Is the movie of the events.
I'm sold. I'm sold. I mean, if you
they put a lot of thought into this stuff.
But that's what I'm giving them credit for is like you went on a limb to make a one and done movie. Hopefully it hits, and you came up with a creative way to sequelize it while, okay, we did it. Let's expand, and we can do it with other things, but these guys can't live in that verse. Let's say they watched the movie. They watched Stab. So now we're here. Okay.
So you still got Pooh. Pooh's back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real Pooh, not fucking fake Pooh.
Yeah. So it's a slightly better looking costume.
Well, there it is. There it is. So now I am on to Winnie the Pooh, Honey and Blood 2. This time it's personal. I might have that reviewed by next week or at least within the next month. I'll go down the line. I got to watch them all now. I got to be in. I'm in, I guess. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Whatever you're doing, Death Curse Club. We're on Instagram, Threads, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube. We're on all the things. Facebook, Throw Me Lounge to catch all our shows like Review at Rob's Show, The Core Memory Unlocked Horrors. All those are up there, including this. So thanks for watching. We'll spook you later.